Berserk 1997 is a masterpiece. However, two complaints I've heard occasionally are that Berserk's art is bad and slow and old and stuff, and that as much as I complain about some of the more shonen-esque fight animation standards, I seem to eat it up when it comes to Berserk and its fairly simple battle sequences. It also stands to reason that many of the villains in the Golden Age arc, and therefore the 1997 release as a whole, are purely comic relief characters. I'm going to address my highly opinionated take on those two subjects here. And hey you, yeah you, the veteran who managed to find his way into this video who's about to go troll me on Twitter. I know you already know this stuff.
Get out.
Just kidding, go troll me. No such thing as bad press. First off, I'm of the opinion that the art and animation are absolutely beneficial to mood, atmosphere, and setting. Could they really have done a better job at emphasizing visually the terrifying nature of Zod? A better job of showing you the dreary, surreal world that the Emperor lives in? An especially weird detail is that of his wine-stained mouth. Gross. So the art looks old. It's an old story in an old setting, and I'd argue that there are few popular shows that wholly share this particular aesthetic. On the slow momentary animations, simply put, it's mostly slow, awkward, old-fashioned bureaucracy. That's what it's supposed to be anyways, and I'd say they hit the nail right on the head tonally. As for the fights in the Golden Age arc, well, they're not actually that important for the most part. That is to say, they're all essentially wheels on which the plot may move. What's truly important here are the fights occurring within each of our characters, some of which are completely detached from these early villains. When we begin our story, we have three primary characters, Guts, Griffith, and Casca. Guts is a wandering loner fighting only to survive, whereas Griffith is a young leader with goals and a sense of direction. Casca, on the other hand, begins as the mysterious feminine commander, second in command to Griffith, and is defined mostly in relationship to the other two, at least until later. The show's first important fight is Guts versus Griffith, a bout for the ownership of Guts. Griffith is probably giving Guts his first real choice, but Guts would rather just fight it out to make decisions. But does this mean Guts has been put on a leash, or has he been given purpose at last? Berserk likes to be pretty existentialist. Circumstances so unordinary and unexpected can most certainly feel like fate in this world, and it is a quiet world. A quiet world occasionally lit by an assortment of about a dozen songs in total. It's all very atmospheric, and that is to say that it ties its presentation together in a lot of ways. So Guts is reckless and somber, spending most of his time isolated or swinging his sword. Every swing of Guts' sword carries with it the weight of his unhinging desire to fight until he knows the way! But Guts is insulted by the notion that he's just a mad dog who doesn't care about his comrades. Griffith, on the other hand, carries himself quite honorably, calm and collected at all times. Griffith smiles on the battlefield, a natural-born leader. Guts, Casca, and Griffith, as you would guess it, carry themselves and their compassion for comrades in contrasting forms. Each of our characters also serves a specific purpose in battle. Each fights his or her worries from outside of the battle as well, though Griffith is a professional at being detached, obviously. Guts charges in like a shield in protection of the hog, a bit high on his intense desire to find a path through battle. Griffith leads the primary charge and is the source of morale. Rickett and the like serve often more strategic advantages. Casca, on the other hand, is a knight-like commander, reeling from women troubles, if you know what I mean. This leads into the heavier plight that although she is a warrior, she didn't get to choose to be a woman. And wouldn't you know it, she gets attacked by the sexist leech himself. Up until this point, Guts and Casca have had a shaky relationship with one another. Guts has only just recently proved to Casca that he genuinely values someone's life above his own, and values his men as well. Still shaky. It's a major decision to jump headfirst to shield her from not only the leech, but also from the almost certain death of the fall, and from the sickness that is being stranded in the woods with wet clothes and a period. Griffith's resolve to protect his comrades is ultimately tested here, the first time that his dream and reputation as a leader are truly on the line for all to see. I certainly hope I don't have to explain how Casca's backstory is intrinsically tied to this scenario. This is also Guts' first major secondhand account of Griffith's honorable code, so to speak, following the infamous Fountain speech. Of course, this is all just to make the point that this all ties back into the sort of inner conflicts we're bearing witness to when we view each little visceral, painstaking decision occurring during these sort of simple, chaotic human battles. Casca has, over the course of these battles, drawn a substantial dichotomy between the two of them, for Griffith's sake, so she claims. And this is exactly what we've been watching unfold in this cruel, silent world that they all inhabit. Guts is a man very much in touch with his shadow, if nothing else. Want to hear Guts be encouraging?
We shall make her a plaything for my troops. I seriously advise you against that. This one here is a real bitch. She'll rip you to shreds.
And it works. It's a very unique kind of camaraderie. Amidst this very same battle, Casca finally comes to realize that it is indeed camaraderie.
Woman troubles.